the bench in Bangalore. Sagai, what are you picking up from Jayalalitha's legal team? What's likely to be the arguments echoed in court? It was, of course, medical grounds of her age that they were planning to argue last week. Is that likely to be the case today as well?
Last week on Monday, the court was adjourned because there was no public prosecutor, and on the same day, the lawyers of Jayalalitha have filed a memo in the High Court Registrar saying that the public prosecutor is not required in this special case. Yes, when you talk about the health issues, it was being raised in the special court when the verdict was pronounced and when the quantum of punishment was pronounced. So I just the viewers who have just joined us, I would like to share with them that initially when the verdict was pronounced on Saturday, that day on 27th, it was very clear that if she would have got a conviction of 3 years and less than 3 years, legal experts said that there are high possibility that she might have got a bail on the same day from the same court and from the same judge, but that did not happen. So there are many high chances, according to the legal experts, that she might be considered, and there are high possibilities that she might get a bail. So it is all left up to the court how they are going to take this case. But definitely it is going to be a crucial day for Jayalalitha, and health grounds will also be considered or will be raised in the court, and as well as her age, because she is quite old where she can't stay in prison for a longer time.
Okay, Lokpriya, in fact, there's news coming in that, you were talking about those sports persons there who also joined in the protest. There have been mammoth protests. I mean, now we're hearing also that more than 1,000 inmates, possibly at Vellore prison as well, are on fasting right now, joint prayers. So much sensational support to the ex-chief minister, such mass fasting and prayer in a prison as well. This is the atmosphere which is building up there in Tamil Nadu ahead of this verdict today. It's almost as if it's a D-Day once again, on whether she gets a sentence or not. What are the plans that you're picking up if she does get bail and when she does come back to Chennai, that the AIADMK cadres have for her? And if the verdict does not go in her favor, if she has to stay in jail, how are then the cadres there likely to respond to that?
Repeat of the 27th of September today is again considered.
Okay, we seem to have have some problem there in that line. We'll try and get that connected in a bit. But if I can take that to Deeptosh. Deeptosh, as I was just telling Lokpriya, we're hearing reports that more than 1,000 inmates at Vellore prison are on fasting and joint prayers. Such mass fasting and prayer in a prison is probably, the information coming in, it's one of the first few times that something like this has ever happened for an ex-chief minister.
Well, definitely, what suits Jayalalitha, what, really stands in her favor at this point of time is that her last tenure, this present ongoing tenure from 2011 to 2014 has not been marked or tarnished by any major graft charge or bribery charge or corruption charge. So obviously all the cases that are pending against her are from previous tenures and go back essentially to her first chief ministership between 91 and 96, and that is which are being raised and decided in court at this point of time. So there is on the ground tremendous sympathy for her, which you can feel as the people going on fast in Vellore jail, or the sportsmen, including quite a number of them who are pretty famous, like Shiny Wilson, like yes, Bhaskaran, who are nationally known figures, who are coming out in her support. So not just AIADMK, across the state in Tamil Nadu, there is a lot of support for her, and all her Amma schemes have been doing very well on the ground, and that very high level of implementation of those schemes are suiting Jayalalitha, are basically going in her favor at this point of time.
Okay, in fact, there's some breaking news coming in, more details on what I was just sharing with our viewers earlier. That is in fact that more than 1,000 inmates at the Vellore prison, as I was saying, are on fasting and joint prayers. Sensational support coming in for the ex-chief minister, such a mass fasting and prayers, probably for the first time in history. For more on this, Priyamvada is joining us on the phone line. Priyamvada, what more information can you share? As I was just discussing with Deeptosh and your colleague Lokpriya, such fasting, such hysteria, such support is probably for the first time that has ever come in for an ex-chief minister.
Absolutely. Even in 1996, when Jayalalitha was arrested and jailed for 28 days, we didn't see such hysteria. In fact, we only saw anger on the streets amongst the common people. But this time it's quite voluntary. Imagine very big sports persons like Joshna Chinappa, Shiny Wilson and Olympians Bhaskaran coming out in support of us. So as Diptosh was pointing out, this tenure has been a very clean tenure. People are very happy with the schemes, and that's the reason that's reflecting on the streets. And now Vellore prison, I'm hearing voluntarily 1,000 prisoners have gone on a hunger protest, and this is the first time in the history that prisoners are fasting for a political figure. So usually they're unhappy with the government. They usually protest against the government, but for an ex-chief minister, this is probably the first time that such a mass fast is happening. And it's not just that, most of the schools which had declared yesterday that they will be open are not opening any which way. Students and parents themselves are voluntarily, and also the teachers are voluntarily stopped coming. And have you seen school principals coming out on the streets and protesting? More than 12,000 school principals coming out and protesting for ex-chief minister. And also one of the biggest markets in Asia, Coimbatore market, which sells vegetables, fruits and flowers, was also shut today to show solidarity for Jayalalitha. But also one thing we should remember,
right,
very clearly, compared to the last time when she was jailed and when there was so much violence on the streets of Tamil Nadu,
yes,
this time ADMK has taken a very calculated move, despite Jayalalitha sitting in prison, to ensure that there is no violence and bad name.
Okay, we leave it there. Many thanks.